resident of Kona. So before we begin, everybody uses titles to kind of describe who we are and the perspectives that we're presenting and how they reflect us. So I'm a Kia'i local. What this means is I'm a fish pond guardian. I'm a guardian of Kona Protect Keauhou, of not just the ponds, but of all the aina. But this is the aina that I can dedicate my time and my services to. I'm a mahi'ai. I'm an organic farmer. I grow my own food. I understand the relationship between water and our gardens and our uplands. I have deep understanding of buying its relationship to our ponds and how crucial it is to the success of not only the fish ponds, but the fisheries, as that uncle had just discussed. Academically, I trained as an anthropologist. That's what I have my bachelor's degree in. And I have my master's arts degree in archaeology. So I kind of have all those things combined. I'm a descendant of Kona. I've lived here basically my whole life, and my family's from this area. We've lived here for generations, and we have ancestral connections to Kona Protect Keauhou as some of the first documented individuals who had cared for that local i'a. And I wanted to mahalo that auntie over there for the Aloua system, because Kona Protect Keauhou, like many of our lands throughout Hawaii, have their own type of history. And in regards to Kona i'a, in over 100 years, there have been 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like there's a lot of Kia'i local that have knowledge pertaining to these ponds and to the host of fisheries. So I don't really have anything formal ready, but I just wanted to get up to date on like what's happening, because I love this aina and I want to be a part of the decisions that are affecting it and the future fisheries for my nephews, my nieces. I don't want them to have to fight for water. I want them to understand water, and I want the measures that are there to be able to serve them in the better interests of our kiki and Hawaii. So one of the things that I keep hearing about is traditional customary practices. I am one of those people. Like I am a Kia'i of Kona Keauhou, and for me, when you folks are talking about ceremony and the Park Service getting information on the Native Hawaiian practitioners, I have to agree with Jonathan Shure that it is very intrusive for the federal government or any government in general to ask me about my practices. I've been arrested in Pule, and I can tell you that that is one of the most offensive, spiritually, physically, mentally, things, the traumas that I had to experience and I'm still experiencing and I'm still trying to overcome. So that is a real thing for me as a practitioner, is I don't want them to come and ask me, and if they did, they would hear it from me. And I call it. I call it when I find out that things are not going as they should, because it needs to be corrected. So yes, they are still learning. And the reason I'm here is I'm here to malama kuleana. My kuleana is to Kona Protect Keauhou. My kuleana is to Kona. My kuleana is to the aina. My kuleana is to the vai. My kuleana is to all the peoples who live on this land and try to get us activated so that we can better pay attention to the elements that give us life and how they're being managed. When you're looking at the history of Kona Protect Keauhou National Historical Park, many of my ohana were on the commission which actually helped create that national park. So it's a continuing legacy that I have to care for that area and to support the protection. And some of the names have to be lifted. Uncle George Naope, Auntie Iolani Muahine, Uncle Fred Kachola, Uncle Kwaiwani, the Roys, the Bouchards, the Springers. There are many families who really helped to create that place and to protect it. And they did go to the Park Service because that was the people who were there who could help them protect that aina from destruction. So as they held that kuleana for us, one of their visions was to not only create the park, but to protect the water, because vai is life, vai is the law of the land, it guides our actions, we are not above it. So we don't put our uses before it, we have to understand it, and we're still in the process of learning to understand. So when I come before you to malama kuleana, I'm also coming to you and asking you as commissioners to malama your kuleana. I'm asking you this in a way where it's to find out, go and ask. Like, I've looked at the traditional cultural paper that was written by Bianca and Jonathan, and I think that it's good. But it can be improved, but it's not only the National Park Service's duty to go out and find the fishers and find the farmers and find the recreational users and the people who just appreciate water. It's all of our kuleana, and they're stepping up, and I'm asking you to step up. Step up and help them, don't delegate. Delegation is not a characteristic of a leader. Those are actually things that followers are still doing, and I know that you all are leading various movements or various changes in Hawaii, and I appreciate that, but this is one that needs you to step up and to help us get there, and I want to know how I can help with that as well. And I wanted to address some of the previous comments that were made, and one in regards to what the National Park Service is doing in order, beyond just asking for water management designation, that I'm a fan of good people that are working hard for the AINA, and there are a lot of really good people that are in the uniform that are working. They are literally breaking their backs for that AINA. And they might be getting paid for it, but they're still doing it. The type of pain that their body will feel is something they're gonna take with them out of that uniform. There are people who have died working at that national park. Uncle Peter Keka is one of them who led the masonry work. Like, there are people who are literally the kua, the backbone, and now it's Kendall and now it's Benson. Like, these are real people that we're talking about, and just to acknowledge that, there are so many people, Joe's Wiley, Melly Barton, I know many of these individuals personally, and I appreciate them, and I cannot allow their names and their service to be disregarded and disrespected, because work is being done, but it takes many hands. And that is what we are trying to do, and I'm trying to help them, and I'm asking you to help us. Help us understand how we can better our efforts. And another thing is, we've actually been doing work days, and it's been about for a year, and our job is to engage. My kuleana is to engage community, get them back as Keauhou local, get them familiar with our water, with our fishes, with spawning cycles. This is their kuleana to maintain. And I know you folks are very busy, but I've actually never seen any one of you there at our work days. And I'm asking you to come. I'm inviting you. We have one this Sunday, and if you are here, please do come. And if you're not here this time, we meet every last Sunday of the month, and we work for 3 hours. And if you can't work, don't worry, because we also have kitchen crew, and we have people who just hang and just keep people nourished and fed. Another thing I wanted to address is this question of quantification, and how much water do you need? I keep hearing this passed around, and I want to thank you for saying that we acknowledge Native Hawaiian traditional customary practices is something important. I needed to hear that. But really, what I have to tell you is, in my traditional uses, water is crucial to ceremony, and not just to the function of the local i'a. I pray to my water, I thank my water, I pray to Kani, I pray to Kanaloa. These are real things, and it's not a figment of the past or something crazy people do. I do that, and I want you to know that I want you to consider that. And if you've never been to a ceremony, then you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. And I don't know how many of you are actually traditional cultural practitioners, but if you've been involved in that process or in a ceremony with Native peoples or any peoples, it's a sacred time of sharing. And if you can't really connect to that, and if you don't practice it in your lifestyle, then it's really hard to, for me, it's hard to listen to people talk about it where they're not actually practicing. And I don't know if they are, and I'm just wondering if you folks are. And maybe you are, and I respect that, and I thank you for that. But when you're asking how much water do we need, how much water do the fish need, how much water you're basically asking me how much water do I need as a Native Hawaiian to practice my culture? I don't want to quantify that. I don't really know how to quantify that. And my upbringing has taught me that water is the law of the land. I don't know if you can quantify that law of the land, but I see how as humans we want to do that so that we can help other things happen. But really, if we destroy this aquifer, we might as well really just be looking for future plans, because we're going to have to tap into other people's water. We're basically talking about the end of our future. And the Park Service has presented information regarding indicator species and what that's showing us. And I ask you, please don't take that lightly. And be kinder when you speak to them, because they're doing good work, and so are you folks. And if we can't communicate in a good way, then we're not going to get anywhere. And this issue is about all of us. It's about water, and it's about our future in Kona. And my final thing is, if anything didn't get to you, what I want you to take away is that I'm still here, and we're still coming, and there are many Keauhou local that will be coming to protect water. So whether you deny their application, you approve their application, or you keep it in its current state, but we're trying to build a further understanding, that I will be with them. I will always stand with water. When I stand with water, I stand for the people, I stand for the voice of the land. Deny the application, we'll resubmit. And the next time when we come, we're coming stronger, because the community will be a key part of the voice that you'll hear. So mahalo for the work that you do. I apologize if anything I said came across harsh or rude, but I just do feel like this is an urgent matter, and I'll be here, and I want you to know that.